a simple and honest reminder about the capacity we have for kindness. Simple. I haven't actually talked about this for some time, and I used to, on videos, talk about kindness and tenderness. That if we forget and get caught up in the machinations of our own minds, our emotional turbulence on the journey or not on the journey of spiritual seeking, discovery, one should say, maybe, spiritual discovery, which is no more than the discovery of one's more essential nature, below and beyond the habitual patterns of thinking and emotional uprisings. In the midst of all of that, which can be very compulsive, addictive, and be the cause of some great suffering, to remember our great capacity for kindness and tenderness to all things, including ourselves. To be kind to ourselves in the midst of, the storm. Whoa! To remember at a certain point that we can be kind, and we can still struggle. It doesn't deny the struggle. It doesn't deny the trouble. It doesn't deny the very real, in many ways, existence of whatever it is that we're up against or struggling with, or whatever our particular permutation, our particular nuance of the human condition is. Because all of us seem to have one, a very particular, specific aspect of the pattern that causes us some trouble, some suffering. And in the midst of sort of trying to, in many ways we're either a victim of that pattern, or that pattern may be working for us in some way, a victim of it, or else we're seeking to kind of view it, or look at it, or be aware of it, or transcend it, or go beyond it, or resolve it, or dissolve it through a greater insight or release in some way. So it can be very hot, the journey of life and the journey of spiritual discovery. And that's the point that I'm making. It's at those points. It's at every point. To remember to be kind. Kindness to self is an act of great love. To be kind to others, certainly others that we come up against, we meet in our daily lives, to see if it's possible to be kind to them. And I'm not talking about overriding one's integrity or the need to stand up and be counted, or stand up to, whatever one's encountering. If it's not right, it's not an abdication of inner authority. It's just still there's a capacity that we have to be kind, even if that kindness doesn't make it into action in some way. Because really what I'm talking about is not action in the world. What I'm really talking about is an inner kindness. We so many of us struggle in a way. We've got two creatures within us, two aspects within us that battle like this. Yes, I can. No, I can't. Yes, I will. No, I won't. I'm going to be kind. Fuck that. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. It's not going to work. Are resorting to unkindness. So to be be aware of one's innate tendency in some ways towards unkindness. It doesn't have to be a big deal, it just has to be a softer way of being, a softer way of being with ourselves, and a softer way of being with others, a softer way of being with pain, a softer way of being with agitation, a softer way of being with the drama and suffering of the world. A softer way doesn't deny the need to act with integrity. It informs integrity. It informs on a deeper level, because it gives us a chance to breathe a little bit deeper and to see things from a deeper perspective. Because if we're constantly caught in the froth of unkindness, let's say, or just drama, or the heat, or the angst of, having to do something, or panic, or fear, or, any kind of emotional anxiety, stress, disturbance, it's very difficult to make clear decisions, or to have that kind of clarity. And so softness, kindness, tenderness allows us to breathe a little bit, and in that breathing there's a bit more of a deeper seeing. And the deeper seeing supports us to take right action in the world. And we do need to take right action in the world, not just action. I don't mean action of opposition or standing up to a government or doing anything like that. I'm talking about that kind of thing. I'm talking about just the way we move in the world, just the way we are in the world, actually in our habitual daily lives, because that's the great and real indicator of where we're at. And so to know that, and to be soft with it, to relax the body, shoulders, breathing, gut, all of this is involved in the great kindness that I'm talking about. It's not a small deal. Sounds small, sounds like who cares about that, but actually it's a great boon to ourselves and a great blessing to the world to be able to embrace some of that and remember some of that in these days of great vitriol. I mean, if you look out there on the internet through all the social medias and stuff, it's a great time of great vitriol, of projection and judgment and, unkindness, cruelty. In fact, even on the internet, it's just cruel to each other. And so I'm kind of inviting a deeper looking, so that we can actually still carry on doing the things that we're doing, but they're actually coming from a place of deeper kindness. And that deeper kindness is somehow our integrity. It brings us into our integrity. And I don't know whether integrity is becoming a lost word, or maybe it's rising up as a refound word, because it gets lost. I don't know whether, it's actually recognized as being important, because to find integrity, or to know integrity, one has to go within to a certain extent and be honest with oneself, and to know oneself from a deeper place, and to understand the relationship that we're having with this apparent world around us. That's the movement of integrity. I don't know whether many people are prepared to go on that journey. Integrity tends to happen when you're a bit more broken by life, or the search for realization of integrity. So maybe it just happens when we get a bit older and a bit more wizened, a bit more forged by the movement of life, to understand it a little bit more as we go through our 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s even. But it doesn't have to have, because you can have integrity when you're 20 or 30 or 40, whatever. but it does require a certain kind of looking at oneself. And it's easier to look at the world, and it's easier to get caught in the harshness and hardness of the world than it is to be kind and turn one's attention within some more, and to see if we can be a little more loving than we are.